I think we're just going to get started. I think Evan might be able to join us in a few minutes here, but fortunately we have a backup judge in Liam Horn. So without any further ado then, let's get started. The first half we're going to see is Space DX. James Dawson, we're going to bring you on to the call for you to demo your video and then do a few minutes of Q&A with our illustrious judging panel. Welcome, James.
Hi, guys. Hello. I'll just share my screen now for you.
Great.
Cool. Hey, James.
Share screen. There we are. Share. Actually, I need to share with sound. 1 second. Share computer sound. Share. Cool. Right. I'll just start this. Hello. My name's James, and this is my submission for the hackathon Space DX. Space DX is a high-risk token economic warfare game. It is built with Solidity and utilizes Matic for a fast-paced gaming experience. The game itself is currently comprised of 3 separate tokens: Solar and ERC20. The main currency of the galaxy, Solar is used not only to buy goods in the economy, but it is used as fuel itself to travel throughout our universe. Solar is mined from the cores of planets, which leads us on to our next token, Planets. Planets are ERC721 tokens that represent the ownership of planets in the galaxy. Each planet randomly generates traits, the most important being its yield. The yield is essentially the interest that you will be paid if you stake Solar against your planet. Yep, we jumped on the NFT staking bandwagon, but there is a unique selling point coming up, I promise. This brings us on to our last token, an ERC1155 called Ships and Technology, or SATs for short. SATs essentially make up your fleet, as space is a very dangerous place and you'll need to protect yourself. Each SAT has randomly generated attributes that determine the strength and health of your fleet in battle, which leads us on to our unique selling point, battling. Using your fleet, you're able to attack any planet. If you're successful in the attack on that planet, you will then be granted access to the reward pool that has been staked against that planet. And vice versa, anyone can attack your planets with their fleet and try and take your rewards. And this is why you need to collect sats to protect your planets as they mine the solar to make you profit. The last part of the game I will go over in this tutorial is exploring. As users move throughout the cosmos, they build up the world map. Each unexplored system triggers a random event when a user moves there. These can be anything from discovering some insanely high profitable planets, finding the rare ships and technology, to getting attacked by space pirates and losing everything. The front end that you've seen throughout this video shows my current progress throughout the project. I have not finished all the logic that I'd initially planned, but I'm really happy with the progress that I've made so far in my first ever Solidity project, and I really think the project will come together when it's fully integrated with Matic. Overall, I've had an absolute blast working on this, and I'd like to say thanks to all the ETHOnline folk for organizing everything. This has been an extremely rewarding experience and I've learned so much, so thank you again. Bye bye. And that is it.
Awesome. Thanks, James. Turn over for the judges for comments and questions.
Super cool, James. Yeah, no, it was like that slightly ASMR video with the music. It definitely kept me intrigued. No, so great job. First, how far did you get kind of in the development? Did you actually deploy contracts to Matic, or have something compiling?
That stage is something that I'm still working on. I'm in contact with the guys at Matic. So I developed all of the smart contracts for staking against planets and kind of battling planets and the reward system, like minting new solar. But I kind of struggled with completing the front end in time to actually showcase all of that. So it's just mostly contracts and contract testing so far.
Cool. Yeah, no, I mean, I had the idea. I was thinking like, you could like hide different rewards like at hashes. So you would have to do like, I don't know, like almost like proof of work calculations to like uncover like hidden planets or something like that.
Yeah.
And you could have fun with it. Yeah, no, it was an interesting idea. I think, as far as attacking goes and things like that, people could definitely have fun with it. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really like the idea. It's kind of you have a bit of like DeFi and NFTs together, and it's pretty interesting. Like the exploring that you kind of like build the world. I really love that idea. What was the there's some yields there, so it comes from this kind of like a minting functionality. Is that yield in form of a token, or how does it come?
So the planets themselves are actually smart contracts. So the ERC-721 is essentially a key to the planet itself. So then it'll deploy like proxy planets. And in that smart contract is a yield number that's just stored there. So it's kind of randomly generated, and then when the planet's created, I'll store the yield with other kind of arbitrary information about the planet, but in its own smart contract. So when you during a battle and you win the battle, we will transfer the ERC-721 to the other person. So then they'll have access. They'll actually own the planet. They will take the planet from somebody else, in this kind of conflict fighting thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cool.
yeah, how do you make new planets? Would you like, I guess like in the world of decentralization, would this be something that you envision being decentralized in any way? Or would it be like, you run the front end and deploy all the planets and everything?
No, the planets are generated through the discovery. So the main aspect of the game would be the exploring. So when you go and explore and you land somewhere, it's random events that happen on each block, and so you'll go explore, and then you'll randomly discover. So say you went somewhere and it's like it'll be like you discovered a high yield planet system. We will mint you an ERC-721 and send that to you from using the explore function, while also building up the world. So that ERC-721 is locked to that position in the world map, but you also have ownership of the ERC-721, and if that makes sense.
So all yields are predetermined at the time of the world map being
Yes,
generated,
they're-
but
yeah,
you guys generate the world map.
No, where the world map is generated by people just moving through it, but the size of the world map is generated by us, if that makes sense. So there's 4 different sections. There's a quadrants, sectors, districts, and then stars. So currently there's 4 quadrants, 20 sectors, 7 districts, and 1,000 stars in each one of those. Now, not every star can be star location can be a planet. It can be other things, like different events that can be triggered there. Like one that I wanted to have was a marketplace system. You'll have to travel to that star location, and then you'll have access to the functionality. So you have to be at the certain star position to have access to that functionality.
So in traveling, that's like an on-chain call, right?
On-chain call to travel, yeah.
So like basically you would be able to measure whether or not like the reward from traveling and developing new things is greater than the gas cost of which to just spam the Matic network with transactions to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matic would love you guys.
Yeah.
You can
All
hold
right,
any value.
that is the end of the time for Q&A. So thank you, James. That was awesome. And we're going to move on to the next project.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys, and good luck with everything.
Thanks, James.
Bye.
All right, next up is YieldSCAMM. Is it just you joining us, or we've got
There's
multiple
3 of them.
parties?
They should be here in another
Great.
5 seconds. There.
Okay. Welcome all to the call, and we'll let you take over and show us your demo.
Yeah, sure thing. So hi, this is the YieldSCAMM team. It's Yunsung, Lone, and me, us 3 that have created this. So YieldSCAMM stands for Sustainable Yields Through Stable Credits on AMMs. We've applied this idea first to UMA's yield dollars, UUSD, where we have identified that having maturities for each of these token contracts is going to be problematic for liquidity terms, So without further ado, let me just share my screen and show the demo. Yep. So first off, just wanted to showcase that we have this online. So you can access YieldSCAMM through our ENS. Just type your ENS, connect with MetaMask. And right now it's deployed on RinkBuy testnet. And we're going to first show you like the pooling feature. So you could start pooling right away. Of course, you need to approve the different maturing yield dollars. So to just showcase here, we've deployed USD for October maturity, USD for November maturity, and USD for December maturity. Of course, you need to approve all 3 token contracts, but once you're done, you can start adding liquidity to the pool. And here we're just adding liquidity right now. And once that liquidity has been added on the chain, you could see that you receive LP tokens. We're calling this UUSD right now. And so we're showcasing how you can now swap from one maturing yield dollar to another maturing yield dollar. And through this process, of course, there's fees collected on the AMMs that are being distributed directly to the LP token holders through rebases. And you could see now we're trying to swap from November maturing yield dollars to December maturing yield dollars. And similarly, once the swap has gone through, LP token holders are automatically receiving the fees through a rebase. Similar to here for transferring from a yield dollar maturing in December to October. And yeah, so the whole idea is that LP token holders are constantly winning real time through rebases whenever anyone is trying to swap their different maturing yield dollars. And here we're just magnifying this to show you that LP tokens holders are actually earning something through rebases. Yeah, and so we just wanted to showcase this. One of the things that we weren't able to do in time was that, of course, the question is what happens to any of these yield dollars that actually mature while they're in the AMM. The idea is we're going to automatically claim the collateral on UMA right away, and then going to swap that for USDC. And then we're going to deposit that into a reserve contract, and then we're going to we're going to wrap them into either Aave AUSDC or Compound CUSDC, so that we're earning yields on that as well, and then providing that additional yield to the LP token holders. Yeah, and so that concludes our demo, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Yeah, I really love the idea. This is pretty amazing. So kind of like you can practically swap maturity, if I correctly understood, and yield. So this could be interesting to create different kinds of even like portfolios. When there's like a token sets for long positions, there could be portfolios on different maturities, and you kind of create this very interesting money markets in that sense. I don't know if that's possible, but what I understood from what you guys are doing.
Yes, so definitely, I totally agree. There's definitely, we lack sort of the financial knowledge to actually try to explain this in a financial way, but we do believe there's like very interesting things you could start doing, especially from a portfolio management perspective. But at least for now, we just try to show that it works and
Amazing.
that this idea is doable. Yeah.
And the wrapping to, let's say, to A tokens like AUSDC and C token. That's pretty cool way to also compound a bit of yield. So I could actually imagine this becoming very interesting. Like it's practically it's practically could become, you know, not just swapping facility but portfolio management. So pretty good work.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a lot of ETFs kind of manage themselves this way with futures contracts. If you guys know, whenever the maturity of the underlying assets comes to expiration, fund managers have to kind of roll it over. You guys would, I guess, if you just had it automated here, you guys would just be, I guess, always sort of taking the risk of a roll and kind of automating that. You know, I would say like, yeah, no, it's a super cool idea, I think, for creating this, because I don't think these kind of markets exist for creating these things, probably just because the demand isn't quite there yet. Yeah, I mean, besides kind of the UMA tokens and the expirations, are there any other assets that you guys have thought about putting in here?
Yeah, so our idea will be applicable to any non-fungible tokens with different contracts, token contracts of the same asset class. That's sort of how we're approaching this process, where, you know, essentially the way it's designed is the same, but the only different fact is that it has different maturities. That's all. And so we're trying to apply this to, like, for example, like perhaps option tokens. You know, that's one, and then of course, obviously, other future tokens that have different, you know, maturing futures. So we see this being applicable to any, you know, future DeFi products that come out.
Yeah, no, I think it would be cool, because I'm sure you guys saw like the big sort of failure to roll over maturities happened in the oil markets earlier this year, whenever oil went negative because nobody wanted to hold the front month contracts. And then, you know, like now you guys are basically making it, well, now they actually have a place to dump. You would just like, so like they would be able to dump their front month contracts, but now you would just tank the entire AMM. So
well, yeah,
you know, because like, well, in the real world, it went, the prices went negative, but I'm guessing you guys can't actually go negative. Like you wouldn't have like a negative NFT price, would you?
And the beauty of it is that we have the reserve contract. So, you know, we have the USDC that always like has that, like, you know, peg at the end of the day that like saves the entire system.
So you would actually hold the peg.
So in that, like, there's the USDC and the reserve contract that could always be paid out to LP token holders. So it wouldn't technically fall down below that value.
Yeah, no, I'd be curious to see, because like maybe there's a reason that it would, you know, like say you're doing this for regulatory arbitrage and can't cash out of USDC and you don't, it's sort of useless to you. So no, but great job, guys. It was cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, did you guys get it deployed though? It's up and running?
On RingPi, yes. Of course, you know, on mainnet, we definitely need a bit more work, but yes, so far on testnet, it seems to work fine.
Cool.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much, YieldSCAMM. Really appreciate you joining us for the hackathon, and great work.
Thank you,
okay,
guys.
we're going to move on to the next hack. Next up is Looking Glass. So we're going to promote you onto the call here. And we're also joined by our judge, Evan Van Ness, who's going to take over for Liam. Thank you, Evan, for being with us. Okay, Jeff, I'll turn over to you to start your presentation.
Thanks. I was just looking for the Zoom window. Hi, everybody. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, here we go. So the whole idea behind Looking Glass is that this is a centralized, or mostly centralized, way to move digital assets between two different blockchain networks. And you know, with I think everybody's very aware of and concerned of the gas fees on mainnet Ethereum at this point in time. And there are other completely, you know, 100% compatible Ethereum networks such as XDAI, Binance Smart Chain, and then other layer 2 networks like OMG. I'm the co-founder of CurveGrid. We're a Tokyo-based blockchain company. The product that we work on is Multivas, and those are the blockchains that we currently support. So that's why I'm talking about this. But certainly there's lots of other applications that this could be used with. Very quickly, Multibass is a blockchain middleware that basically makes it very easy to interact with the blockchain. And so, we're building this, or we're building Looking Glass or prototyping Looking Glass on top of that because it's easy for us. But there'd be other ways to approach this as well. So basically, you've got some sort of digital asset, ERC20, 721, or 1155. What you do is you transfer that to a Looking Glass address, which is essentially controlled by an enterprise wallet or HSM. In a future iterations, could be a smart contract, but that's what we're using for this demo. The idea is that transfer triggers an event which we're monitoring for. It says Multibass here, but really the Looking Glass would sit on top of Multibass. That then triggers the signing of a burning transaction on the source blockchain and a minting transaction on the target blockchain. And that's pretty much it. There's lots of other possibilities for this. I guess you could compare it to something like a token bridge. The difference being there's no sort of decentralized set of validators. This is completely centralized solution. So you have to trust the people that are running it. But it could work very well in the case of a game, let's say blockchain-based games, or if you're tracking logistic items or something that's more of a centralized or semi-centralized use case, and it can always be expanded in the future. So the demo, the code is basically very kind of non-existent at this point. But if we run this, all that we got, we only got as far as essentially pulling events off the blockchain. So this is more of interested in feedback on this idea rather than having a lot to show at this point. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. Turn over to the judges for questions and comments.
Yeah, great project, Jeff. So Oracle using, it's kind of like you guys are acting as an Oracle bridge between two different blockchains. So it's, a lot of projects are kind of setting it up. Like if you've seen, a lot of projects have started doing these kind of things. And I think setting yourself up as like a centralized Oracle to do these kind of things is a great step. Did you kind of pull from anybody's code to get it done, or look at any of the current designs there as far as when you were building it?
Yeah, we certainly took inspiration from it. I think the thing that we noticed is a lot of the current, so you either take like Token Bridge, or there's one for Solana that got released recently, right? Wormhole. A lot of the complexity there is in the validator network, right? Which is sort of like you're almost building a blockchain on top of a blockchain, right? Because you have to make sure the validators are doing the right thing. And we basically just done away with that complexity by keeping it centralized. So it's not, we don't want to use that as a dirty word. It's more to say, if you're doing something like an online game, logistics application, could be document management, that might be a much more efficient use case. Most of the work, all the hard work is being done on blockchain in terms of there's another piece that we're envisioning, which is basically like a state machine smart contract to kind of manage it. But we certainly took inspiration from those, to kind of start to put this together.
Yeah, no, very nice. I think the design space can continue to go, because I think a lot of them are basically doing the exact same thing as you are right here.
Sure. Sure.
They just kind of add in some complexity. So
is it actually like, you said that it was centralized, but you could actually like have a network, right, of kind of like this validators that are posting a bond or like a bail, submitting transactions and so forth, right? More or less.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the next step, right? We start with this and then do that. Yeah, and it's going to be, the other thing that we want to do is we wanted to be able to support blockchains that aren't quite like they don't have full smart contracts. So I don't know, like Ethereum to Stellar or something like that, or XDAI to Stellar.
Yeah.
So then like it's hard on day one to kind of think about how you're going to support validation or sorry, a network of validators. But yeah, that would be a future direction. Go ahead, Stani. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Is the idea also kind of like make it more general purpose, so that it's not just about asset transfer, but let's say that there is a some functionality. For example, in Aave, we have this governance process now that you vote off chain, and then you can basically do this vote validation, but you need to call someone, and probably there will be a lot of functions in the future that someone needs to call, and this could be like a general purpose off chain vehicle that could be to some extent even decentralized at some point, that you can just use it on many functionalities.
Yeah, exactly. So out of the box, something like Token Bridge supports ERC20, right? But there's no ERC721 or 1155. Or you want to do something like, stack like Gnosis safes or Gnosis multi-sig smart contracts together. Like, how do you compose that transaction in an efficient way on chain with the validators? So, to your point, what Aave is doing around your governance protocol and doing that off chain, computing it off chain, and then basically forklifting on the chain. Exactly. Like, we want to support more than just ERC20, right? We want to be able to, you want to move, it's almost like a looking glass, like you're moving arbitrary data from one chain to another, but doing so with the computation attached to it.
Yeah, cool.
I don't really have much to add, to be honest with you. Is the thought that like you'll have some enterprises like that'll use it, or?
Yeah, or people that are building things that aren't necessarily DeFi, right? Like you want to do, I don't know, maybe it's NFTs, or maybe it's a smart contract that doesn't, you could be doing, I don't know, like open law or something like that, right? Signing documents, moving those signatures in that process, or the red line markup between blockchains with it, but it's not ERC20. I think a lot of the cross-chain solutions today are really focusing on the NFT, or sorry, the fungible token or maybe non-fungible token space. And we wanted to simplify the validation piece so we can focus more on, enabling more use cases. But we're not very far yet. So I appreciate all of your feedback today. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. That is the end of the time for Q&A. Thanks again for being part of ETHOnline. And we'll move on to the next project. So next up we have Crescendo. We're going to bring you on the call, and then I'll let you take it away. I understand that we're going to play your video, so I think that we need to do that.
Yeah, so I'm going to play the video. A fun fact, I just downloaded the video using YouTube DL, which yesterday got DMC takedowned by the government. But I have a copy on my laptop, thankfully. Okay, so let's try this.
Throw that
Some
on
dummy
Aave when you're
tokens
done.
and the Crescendo contracts. First,
Oh, sorry,
I select my wallet.
35 seconds in.
In this video, I will be presenting Crescendo, a meta transaction tool which wraps high-volume DeFi protocols such as Uniswap or Tether and provides a gasless experience while simultaneously reducing overall gas consumption by eliminating repeated operations and unnecessary overhead. As a simple example, let's see Crescendo processing a single ERC20 transaction in a builder test network. The test network has been deployed with OpenGSN, portions of the balancer protocol, some dummy tokens, and the Crescendo contracts. First, I select my wallet, then pick my transfer token. As usual, I specify a destination address or ENS name, and the number of tokens, let's say 3. Since Crescendo is a gas optimizing proxy, it utilizes ERC20 token APIs in unique ways, one of which is by manipulating the allowance value to specify the options for the meta transaction. In order to fit an address in the uint256 field used by an allowance, it must be mapped to a smaller integer type. That is why we must click Register Destination. The transaction is gasless and paid for by the Crescendo automated treasury. It is not possible to execute a meta transaction to set an allowance due to restrictions with the WETH contract. So for this demo, I will simply be using a regular approved transaction. If the token supported OpenGSN or the permit function, this whole flow would be gasless. At this point, all we have done is approve the transfer. Now the transaction must be minted. On other machines, minters are watching for approve events directed towards the Crescendo contract. As more time passes, the contract will offer a greater reward from the treasury to cover gas expenses. As the rate becomes profitable versus the gas price, a bot will submit a transaction to complete the actual transfer. For the purposes of this demo, I will just run a command to execute the transaction immediately. As the transfer executes, take note of the wallet balance changing as expected. Users can be confident that their transfer will be processed within a suitable time frame, since the contract will offer increasingly compelling rates as time passes. This demo showed the sending of a single token transfer, but Crescendo can be used for other heavier protocols, such as Uniswap. By combining multiple transactions, such as those of a single batched Uniswap operation, Crescendo can reduce the overall gas consumption after combining just 4 trades. Uniswap tends to have large liquidity pools, so additional slippage incurred will be minimal compared to the gas savings. In order to receive funds in USDC while paying them out in ETH for either OpenGSN or Mint rewards, a separate treasury contract is deployed. The treasury uses a balancer pool with extended functionality for OpenGSN and functions to allow Crescendo to unconditionally deposit or withdraw at any time. This makes it easy and cheap to continuously convert from USDC to WETH, since arbitrageurs will be correcting the balance. This demonstration barely scratched the surface of how Crescendo can be utilized. Though the project is still in its early technical stages, it's already showing practical potential, which will aid in the move to L2 Ethereum.
Great, thank you. Over to the judges for questions and comments.
Super cool. Yeah, no, great job. So the idea, I guess, is that you would have this, you would batch all of the transactions off chain and then submit them. And then you have your own, you have your own token or no?
No, there's no custom tokens in this protocol. It just wraps other protocols.
So then how does the fee, I guess, increase as time goes on?
The contract will keep track of the earliest known approval transaction. And as more time passes, it'll count the number of blocks in between and offer a greater reward. That way, if the gas prices start spiking or something like that, the miners will eventually have a profitable rate that they can mine at. So like, suppose if we set the target time period to like 600 seconds, let's say, and figure out how many blocks that is. And if the gas price is double, let's just say, then it will offer a linearly increasing reward over time. So at some point, the transactions will be processed because it'll be a profitable transaction.
Do you know like what those times would be during like some of the crazy gas periods?
Well, it will automatically increase the rate of reward based on how previous terms have gone. So if it took 20 minutes and the target time is 10 minutes previously, then it will offer a higher slope of rewards, kind of like how the difficulty will increase in the Ethereum mining if necessary.
And you said there's a parameter, so I can pick that, right?
So that the reward for the block, you mean?
You said like there's
mining?
a number of seconds or something, like,
Yes, that is
because if I'm batching Uniswap trades, I want them in the next block, right? Or basically.
Well, so yeah, that is one of the downsides of this protocol, is that if the Uniswap price changes within the next 10 minutes, either up or down, that's the rate you get. But on the upside, it can put a lot of transactions together and save gas in the process. And statistically, the price could go up or down. So really, it's just a little bit of unpredictability is what you're getting.
Well, you could maybe add in some way to do like limit orders almost just on Uniswap with this, to where like only execute if, say, it's a given price on Uniswap, and then do the trade, and then you could have like the mine. Sorry.
Yeah, that is true. And that's one of the nice things about this protocol, is that you can specify different strategies to take. For the purposes of the current Uniswap strategy I've written, it just tries to put transactions together and then execute them within 10 minutes. But another strategy could be created that is like, I only want to do this. I only want to execute this allowance if it reaches this price. If it's this price or more favorable. So yeah, limits could definitely be done in that way.
Yeah, well, and then I guess, have you thought at all about kind of minor front running here? Because I think like that would be one of the big issues, would be like, now
Yeah.
you're basically posting all of your orders for everyone to front run. And you know, yeah.
Yeah. I've considered the possibility of it, but I haven't really been able to work out the practicality of such an attack yet. Obviously, if since it's known that a miner will probably process the transaction within every 10 minutes, and if you know that the Crescendo transaction is coming within like the impending blocks, that you could do a little bit of manipulation on the Uniswap exchange to push the price in an unfavorable direction at the expense of the users. But so that's something that we'd have to be careful of. And this is a tool that'd be intended for smaller traders, people who are trading much smaller amounts of funds, and that would be
Sure.
limited to prevent, because otherwise you'd get high slippage also. So there's multiple considerations there.
Well, you could, so somebody would have to grab it and put it in the transaction, right? You could maybe like have the reward like really high if it's like the miner themselves. So like almost incentivize miners to pull it themselves, you know, and then you could maybe get around it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, but again, it's designed for smaller traders, and it's hard to verify that the miners themselves are doing it. I don't think we have access to the miner information from within the smart contract.
It would be like post. Yeah, you could keep, yeah, but anyway, no, it's a great project.
All right, thank you. We're gonna move on to the next team. That's all the time we have for Q&A. Thanks again for a great project. Okay, next up is Juicer Protocol. We've got you on the call now, so please go ahead and show us your demo.
Yep. Hello guys, my name is Mikhail Lazarev and I am so proud to present you Juicer Protocol today. Let's talk about DeFi credit market. I took real prices from Aave market for DAI coin, and you can see there is 2.5% gap between deposit and borrow API. And this gap exists because lenders put more than $10 million into protocol, which obviously do not work. Juicer protocol solves this utilization problem and offer better rates for both lenders and borrowers. And let's check how it works. The lender wants to invest 100 USD coins, and Juicer protocol use best rate strategy and found that Aave provides the best one, which is 3.47. So it takes lenders' money and puts them into Aave protocol. You can see that lender goes the best market rate. Now the borrower come to scene, and we also use the best market strategy and offer 4.85% rate for borrower. To provide these 100 USD coins, we take money from Aave and provide them to borrower. And let's consider this step by step. At first, we took 100 USD coins from lender, and after that, we provide them to borrower for 4.85. As you could see, there is a 1.38 extra, which could be distributed into 3 parts by issuing vitamin tokens. The 40% will be delivered for lenders and borrowers to motivate them to use Juicer protocol, and the last 20% would be invested for further protocol development. What happens when utilization would be not optimal and Juicer protocol would have less borrowers than lenders? Let's start from point that both lenders and borrowers has the best market rates. Furthermore, borrowers get vitamins tokens, which dramatically reduce their rates. Lenders whose assets were used for loans also get vitamins tokens, which really increase their rates. All other lenders stay in the queue. Juicer protocol connects with the DeFi market leaders to provide the best market rates for its customers. Thank you very much, and let's check how it works in real life.
Go to juicer.finance and you can see this landing page, and you can find that deposit and borrow rates with vitamins is much better and more interesting. So I press enter. It's all markets. I go to deposit, for example, and I want to put my money on DAI deposit and get more than 0.559, it's 1.80. If someone take my money, press deposit, I enter 1,000, and now press 1,000 here, press deposit. Oop, done, and you can check market size. Oh, now my 1,000 DAI is available for borrowing. Thank you very much. It was Juicer protocol, especially for ETHOnline.
Great, thank you, Mikhail.
Yes, thank you
Over to
very
the
much.
judges.
Yeah, quite interesting. I think like this kind of like a lending or yield aggregation is becoming quite widely usable, and it's interesting to see, because like when we built the Aave protocol, and there's the compound and kind of those baseline protocols, practically now we see kind of like a new layer of aggregators, and this kind of like a Googles of finance are becoming more quite interesting way. Yeah, I really like the presentation. What was the in the presentation, when you deposit funds, what was the reason of borrowing those funds as well in terms of deposits?
I think the idea, we use Aave and other protocol like liquidity pools and stores our money on these protocols until the one guy come from market and ask us to borrow money. And when someone want to take money, we found the worst rates. For example, if you put money for Aave for 3% and to compound for 2%, we took money from the protocol with less rate and provide them to borrow directly. So we work on two things. The first, we want to put money for best interest rate into different protocols. And when another borrower come to my Juicer protocol, we take money from this protocol, and it's like peer-to-peer. We connect one lender with one borrower, and we take some extra and share between them.
Got it. Okay, so that's the innovation. Nice.
So probably the idea, I talked with some person and they said, oh, if you start this one, it means that probably Aave or some protocols start to use your protocol, because we provide usually the best rates when we connect to person directly. But my answer is it's not same, because you can find a different market rates on different protocol, and it works like arbitrage in my point of view. So it helps for better asset utilization. But this protocol can't exist without Aave, Compound, and other liquidity providers who could provide a lot of liquidity of the moment. So I think it's a good way how we could create a one huge liquidity pool for all borrowers and provide the better utilization of every assets.
You said you used YFI, or at least you had the logo. Is that like a future plan to?
Yes, it's future plan. Use UFI because, as I said, it's more about strategy, and I know UFI is more about strategy and taken years. So when I plan the protocol, I have some idea how we could be connected together to use my protocol is the best utilization thing with zero risk, because UFI protocol could be connected, and if it would put money to Juicer protocol, it would has the best rates all the time between different protocols. So it could save gas and it could provide much more better returns.
Great. Okay, that is all the time we have for Q&A, but thank you, Mikhail. Thank you, Juicer Protocol. And we're going to move on to the next demo. So next up,
Very cool.
thanks. So next up we have Cameo. I will leave it to you, Stanley, to take over and show us your demo.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just sharing the screen.
Hey everyone, this is Stanley, and I'm here to talk about Cameo, a portable DID wallet for the Ceramic network. Just a quick introduction. I'm Stanley and my teammate Matthew. We're both software developers and we work to create the Cameo project. So what is Cameo? The most simplest explanation, it's a MetaMask-like extension to manage your DID and your identity on the Ceramic network. So just like how MetaMask lets you create an account and send transactions and sign transactions and view balances, Cameo is the equivalent for the Ceramic network. You can create a new DID, you can add new details to your profile, and you can log in to any D app that supports the Ceramic network login, and you can completely manage your DID through the Cameo extension. So how does it work? Cameo connects to the Ceramic networks using IDX and the Ceramic libraries to create a DID and manage it in the background. It injects that object onto the Chrome runtime so that any D app that wants to use this information can access it. All the keys are stored locally and it's not shared with any of the D app that you interact with. What is the benefit of it? Of using Cameo? For the developers, it leads to a better UX and easier onboarding. No longer you have to show the user a random hex address. You can show profile pictures, and you can greet them, show first name, last name, kind of just like how a user would expect in an application. For the users, it's a portable identity of the Ceramic network. Your identity is not locked into any platform. You don't have to fill any forms. Yeah. So let's jump into a quick demo here. I have the Cameo extension loaded on my Chrome browser right now. Since this is the first time that I'm loading it, my DID is not, I have to create a new DID. So it takes quite a, my new DID is created right now, and the next time I load, it should remember me. Let me just quickly fetch my GitHub profile picture so I can complete my profile. So I'm gonna go add my image, update my profile. Okay, then my profile's updated and I can add my Ethereum address as well. So I'm just gonna copy my testnet address and paste it onto my profile. So my profile should now have my name, an image, and my Ethereum address. So as soon as the image is updated, we show the user's avatar in the extension. So we've created a demo application that can make use of this. So let's just ensure that the is loaded. So for any D app that wants to log in, so just like how you would log in with MetaMask or connect MetaMask to your account, any D app can log in with Cameo. So logging in with Cameo will give the user access to all the fields that are saved in the profile. So its name, a profile picture, and the DID and the Ethereum account in any of those. So that was the quick demo, and our future plans is to add support for custom documents, support multiple accounts, and support for more browsers. Right now, it's only Chrome, so we plan to extend it to Firefox as well. So, thank you.
Thanks, Stanley. Over to the judges for questions and comments.
Yeah, very, very cool. What motivated you to work on this? Just like really interested in decentralized identity space, or?
Yeah, the decentralized identity and the fact that anytime you log into any DeFi app or anything, it's just a hex address that's showing you. So maybe what if like you can show a more personalized experience, like profile picture and a name, something like that. Just a extension for that.
So, like if I was in a DeFi app, then I would have to have 2 browser extensions basically for that to work, right?
Yeah. In this present form, yeah, you're right. But maybe we can add like some sort of signing to the application to this extension. Then you can solve it with one. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that was kind of my question. Would you want to add kind of MetaMask functionality to it? Like as far as like you could just be like MetaMask with a name and an identity, sort of.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch, but probably future.
Sure. Well, I mean, if you're dreaming big here, you can pick what you're doing, and that's what I'm actually not very familiar with the Ceramic network in general. What had kind of picked, why did you kind of go that route for the decentralized identity?
Ceramic it's basically like a library that just allows us to like easily interact with IPFS. So all of these documents, all of these DIDs and the images and everything are routed to the IPFS like internally. So IDX and Ceramic, it's much more easier experience to use it.
Okay. Cool. And then I guess, did you get it? Everything's deployed, or you're like live already, or is it still test nets?
It's still testnet.
Okay.
Actually, Ceramic is still testnet. So Ceramic itself is not into production. So yeah.
Awesome.
How much? Like, did you consider forking MetaMask and like adding like your stuff in there? So that seems like a more just like I'm going back to the 2 browser extensions thing, right? Like it seems like you would potentially have a great like add-on there that would be like you could have MetaMask, but like combine the values of both.
Yeah, now that you say it, it sounds like a great idea, but we never thought of it. I mean, we actually referred to MetaMask code because we had some issues with actually injecting the variable to the browser. So, but that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Now that you've done a lot of the work.
No, and then what are your thoughts kind of on the privacy factor of it too? Like I know that's a big issue kind of in Ethereum and browser plugins. Like, is there any, I think this is going the route of anti-privacy. But I guess just keeping your decentralized identity private in any way whenever you're accessing these apps. Would these apps all kind of have access to some of your information?
Yeah, so the ideal scenario like in future would be to have some sort of selective sharing, like so you don't have to show your name or image and everything, so you can just share whatever fields that you want to choose. Like your profile can have like 7 to 8 fields, but you are only willing to share 2 of those. So that's something we have planned for.
Awesome.
Great. Okay, thank you very much, Stanley. Really appreciate you being part of ETHOnline, and great work. And we're going to call up the next hack after this. So the next project is SalesTogether. So we'll get Kevin and team on the call, and please take it away. Show us your demo.
Hello. Yes, I will present my screen now.
Is there supposed to be audio, Damien? Just want to check.
Oh, sorry. I didn't. I forget to share the audio. Just a second. So yeah, no. Hi all, my name is Damian. Is okay now? Damian, and today we present our application called SalesTogether. Our agenda is, first we will talk about the context in the business-to-business sales industry. Then I will show how our application is working, and finally we will see a demo. So in the business-to-business sales industry, we know that sellers always are looking for buying signals. That means information that indicates that an entity has the propensity to purchase certain products or services. This information can come from different data sources, as websites, blogs, or magazines, or can be provided for another seller. Our application wants to incentivize to another sellers to share this information. To do so, we will allow to the owner of the campaign to create a campaign. The owner can deposit some Ethereum to mint some C tokens on the Compound Finance. Users can start to see the open campaigns and share the signals. And the owner can check for this signal, and he considers that this is valuable, he can pay for that to reveal the full signal. So the signal provider will receive the C tokens. We think that this one is the best workflow because we are incentivizing to the people to participate and share information, but they are not only receiving tokens, they are receiving the C tokens that are generating interest over the time. So finally, we will see a demo. So in our demo, the first thing that we need to do is create a campaign to let you know to the rest of the user. So we are looking for signals. We add the details of the campaign, and we put the amount of seed that we will pay for each good signal that we receive. So we confirm the transaction and create the campaign. After our campaign is created, we can go and add money to the campaign. So we can contribute the campaign with 1 Ethereum. Check that I am in the manager account. Confirm the transaction. So after add money to the campaign, we can return and see the details now. This will say the amount of money that we added to the campaign and the C tokens that we mint. So another user now can go and provide signals. In this case will be this user. He will add some information. We'll provide a signal, confirm the transaction. So after the transaction confirmed, now the manager of the account can go and approve the signal. Then we will send money to this account. And we can see here, now we can see here when the user received the compensation in C tokens. This is all our demo. Thank you so much for your attention.
So are you familiar with Erasure Bay from Numerai?
No.
Okay, it's fairly similar. One thing that they have is a if you're not happy with the quality of information that you receive, you can burn like some of your money and some of their money, or maybe it's both of you burn all of your money and all of their money. Was that in there?
No. Can you share with me the name of the project?
It's called Erasure Bay. I'll type it in the chat.
Yeah.
It's fairly similar.
Very similar. Oh, okay. No, we didn't know that. And yeah,
It's neat. What did inspire you to work on this?
so for us, I am working in a business to business company, and all the time we are looking to get some information about companies that are looking for some products. So I am working with sellers, and in general, this information is collected manually, or the sellers are looking for information checking Twitter or another social networks. And we think that, for example, you can create a community and start to share information that could be valuable. And then to incentivize your community, we can share tokens on that. And we were thinking that if we connect this application with a protocol in DeFi, or like Aave or Compot, this will be more interest to everybody to participate. And at the same time, this is just the demo, but actually the original idea came from, for example, if you think in a subscription, so create a subscription with DeFi in the same way, when you can pay, but at the same time generate interest and the payments. So the original idea came from there. I didn't know about this application that you shared with me. But,
yeah, it's similar. I mean, it sounds like you actually have a real use case, and like, you know, are in this market every day. So like, you know, if you get to the point where you go live, I mean, I can see it, you know, being successful in a different market or niche or whatever. But yeah, I mean, the basic functionality is relatively similar.
Yeah, I mean,
it might be worth looking through what they've done in terms of, you know, what happens if you get bad information, because you could, you know, you might draw inspiration, or you might dislike it and, you know, have a different twist or whatever.
No, we were thinking we can use off-chain solutions for that. So, for example, one idea that we don't have the time to finish, but one idea was create like ranking for the people that are sharing the signals. So you as the guy who's the owner of the campaign, you will pay only for people that has a good ranking. And this one is like generating some identity inside the application.
No, I would be curious to see how you would handle like almost fake signals, like in your system.
Yeah.
To where like just one guy just continuously deposits money into Aave, getting, you know, I guess signals from himself.
Sure. Well, actually, we was and then in the demo we planned that the owner can create one campaign and he can request for signal, but after we think the idea, maybe the best solution is everybody can participate. And well, actually, it's a very good question. Just in this case, the idea only was try to test and see how the application can work with a smart contract. We see weakness is the thing that you are saying with the signals, because actually when we was deploying the contract, everybody can now, when you pay, everybody can see the signal already. So that lost that is losing the value for use the application.
Yeah.
But on the side, yeah,
it's great. No, you could do it like with partnership announcements too. Like all the DeFi projects can just pay each other to do partnership announcements, and it can be a fun time.
yeah. No, but our original idea or our global concept is try to apply smart contracts for marketing and see how we can incentivize to the people to participate, or even when you create a marketing campaign or you want to sell your product, you can use another strategies than the thing that we have already and use DeFi.
Great job.
Big props for using interest-bearing tokens. I mean, those are very good things to pay. I mean, they usually increase in balance or value, so that's nice.
Thanks.
Okay, I think that's all the time we got for Q&A. Thank you very much for a great project. We're going to move on to the next hack.
Bye-bye.
Okay, next up, we've got Tweether. I'll let you guys take it away and show us your demo.
Awesome, for sure. Hey, how's it going, everybody? And just FYI, I'm not eligible for the Chainlink prizes, just so that we're clear. So cool, I'm gonna jump right in. Hi, everybody. My name is Patrick Collins. I partnered up with Alex Sharon, and we created Tweether, the governance Twitter protocol. We are democratizing tweets and democratizing communication. Basically, the way it works is, as you see in front of here, we have an on-chain Tweether governance contract, and it all works and revolves around the Chainlink Oracle and the Chainlink node. So the way it works is users fund the contract with Link, and in return, they get Tweet. They can then use this Tweether to propose and vote on tweets. After enough votes have come through for a tweet, the Chainlink node the smart contract kicks off a request to the Chainlink node, which promptly sends out the tweet. This is the UI for now. You can see only has a couple of things. It has the current tweet that you're selected. These are the tweets that are in the queue, how many votes it currently has. So the more tweets, the more Tweether that is distributed, the more it costs to pass a tweet. So there's actually a lot of math involved when it comes to this governance contract, because only Tweether gets sent out when Link gets funded. So we can see a couple of the different tweets that are currently in the queue. There's nothing there. A couple of the tweets, and we can see what the current votes are for that tweet. So clearly, this one doesn't have a way, is down one vote from actually running. We can actually mint tweet like so. Here we go. We can see we get the tweet token, and this is what we can use to actually vote on proposals. We can also even propose a tweet here, something like this: ETHGlobal rules. Let's propose that. Great. Yes. Let's do this. And once it actually confirms, it'll come back with, something like this. Or actually this one. That was the one I actually did. So as you can see, we're really close to be able to pass here. So let's add 3 more. And it looks like we added a whole bunch more. We should be able to see that because it's of so many votes, it's kicking off a Chainlink job. It's using the Twitter external adapter, and it's going to actually send the tweet to our Twitter account. Let's see. We see that a minute ago. It actually tweeted out. And in addition, we didn't have this on our UI. We didn't have time to add this in. But in addition, if you send the winning tweet, if you are the voter who pushes the tweet over the edge and actually sends it, you get what's called an NF tweet, which is an NFT token, basically signifying the information of the tweet, or giving you a unique token saying, I sent this tweet at this time. You can see some different parameters. This is a one-click dApp, a really cool way to kind of just like see the functions of tweets really easily. We can get 0, and this returns all the struct of that tweet that was sent. So this is the first tweet through the Twitter governance. Alex Rowan, Patrick Alpha C. We can see all the information associated with this NF tweet, which is really cool. There's a number of really interesting things in the Tweether contract as well. Burning the Tweether, checking the vote count, creasing the allowance, proposing a tweet, unvoting. So thank you. This is Tweether signing off.
So
yeah.
What kind of tweets do you think the Chainlink community would push through?
I cannot say. I do not know. Or well, I have an idea, but yeah, very, very happy, positive, friendly.
Yes.
Very happy, positive, friendly ones.
The NFT idea is pretty awesome. I mean, like, you basically reward for some action, and time and place and everything. Well, time exactly. I think it's a nice idea. Is that just like an NFT, or is there some sort of like a visuals included, or maybe that could be even created in the future?
Yeah, so that was on our to-do list. We had a number of things on our to-do list that we didn't get to. Yeah, adding the visual wouldn't be very difficult. I was actually taking some time looking into OpenSea to do that, and it seems like it would be pretty easy.
Cool.
What was the inspiration here? Like, what gave you the idea?
Yeah, so we kind of wanted to do something fun. You know, I'm a developer advocate on Chainlink, and Alex is integration engineer / technical writer. So the Solidity part was actually the easier part. We wanted to and working with oracles, we wanted to try, you know, playing with NFTs. You know, maybe instead of getting data, we would send data from a smart contract. And we got to, you know, really go into a governance protocol. So the inspiration really was like, okay, how can we do something that's really fun, and that can kind of do a little bit more than what we're used to. I decided I also wanted to, you know, try to work on a front end, which didn't go so great as you saw. But yeah, the inspiration was really just to kind of branch out and try working with some new things that we hadn't worked with before.
How much gas does all this cost?
It's surprisingly not very gas expensive, actually. And actually part of the inspiration for the NFT was when the vote hits the threshold to get over, a little bit extra gas. You have to do a little bit of extra gas to actually, you know, send the request to the Chainlink node. So we said, okay, cool. Well, they're going to be spending a little bit of extra gas anyways. We might as well also mint them this NFT to be like, yeah, you're going to, you know, be doing a little extra gas, but you're going to get this as well. I don't know the exact numbers of gas, but it's not as bad as you'd think.
Well, like, would you want to do something, I guess, kind of like the snapshot, so where you're just signing off chain with your TWE balances, and then Chainlink can just go pull the result of the vote themselves?
Say that again?
Well, like, because you would want to do something, I guess, so that way people don't have to submit gas to vote on tweets, right?
Oh, yeah. That would be cool. That would probably be like a phase 2 type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to go live with this?
Next hackathon?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Cool. Well, if you do, let us know. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it would be kind of fun if you start getting a bunch of @ETHGlobal is amazing from the Twitter account, just because that's all it would be right now, because it's just
Well, I think you'd want to make it a protocol, so then all the different token projects could have it, and then you could like have them shit tweet at each other at the entire time, and then it could be a little bit more fun.
I mean, that does sound fun, but it also sounds maybe toxic. I don't know if we want to promote.
Stani's got some spicy tweets lined up already.
Oh yeah, maybe we'll just give this to Stani and let him be the benevolent dictator.
I should try it out.
All right. Well, on that note, that's all the time we have for Q&A. Thanks, Patrick. Great project.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay. Moving on to the next hack. Next up, we have Unipeer. So I'll let you guys jump on the call and share your demo.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I believe someone from ETHGlobal was supposed to play my video because I had this problem at my end.
Yeah, sure. Liam, are you able to pull up the video and share it?
Yeah, I don't have a note for that, but my internet's pretty fast. So if you guys will just give me a moment to download the video so that it'll be played with high quality. Give me just a second.
Liam's Juarez skills coming up big once again.
It's 50% done. You guys can see the QuickTime?
Yeah.
Yeah, all good.
Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna play it.
Hello everyone. This is Charlene from Unipeer. Unipeer is a scalable non-custodial P2P fiat on-ramp. It's scalable because we're using open banking APIs to initiate payments between buyers and sellers. And using those same open banking APIs, we are able to get this transaction status, whether the fiat payment has gone through or not. So over here, I have a demo running. So this is a live demo running at demo.unipeer.exchange that you can try out for yourself. So I'm going to walk you through the user flows for both buying and selling. So over here, I've already connected to my MetaMask account, which is running on the Koban network. Now to buy, the first thing I need to do is specify the amount of Ethereum that I want to buy. So over here, I enter 0.1 Ethereum and immediately shows me the amount I need to pay in INR. INR is the fiat currency of India. Next thing I need to do is enter my UPI ID, through which I will be making the payment. UPI ID is a payment identifier that is linked to my bank account. But over here, since we're not using the live banking APIs, we're using a sandbox environment. So I'm going to enter a dummy UPI ID, which will automatically accept the request for any amount of INR that it gets a request. And next, I just click pay. Now, that creates a Ethereum transaction to initiate the payment request at this UPI ID. So I'm just going to go ahead and confirm. So we can take a look at the Ethereum transaction. We can see that the Ethereum transaction is confirmed, and this is the address from which I created the transaction. When we go to the address, we can see that I have received the 0.1 amount of Ether that I initiate the payment for. If you are a seller who wants to sell some Ethereum for fiat currency, all you have to do is go to the sell tab and enter your UPI ID where you would like to receive the fiat payment, as well as some initial amount of Ethereum that you want to sell. When I click the create escrow button, it will create an escrow contract with this initial amount of Ethereum and this seller payment ID where you will receive the fiat payment. Over here, the sellers can see the deployed escrow accounts, and they can either withdraw their deposited amounts or deposit additional Ethereum that they want to sell.
Great. Okay. And over to the judges for questions and comments.
That's quite interesting. I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, obviously, like on-ramping into the Ethereum ecosystem is pretty interesting to get more adoption and users. There's always issue when dealing with fiat currencies with regulation, that kind of stuff. So probably it will come up. But from technical standpoint, it's quite interesting to how you develop. But what's your inspiration on this product? Like, what do you want to achieve?
Yeah, sure. So definitely the inspiration is just making it easier for anyone to buy the first cryptocurrency, and mainly towards like new users who want to try out DeFi applications, but they're kind of, for them it's going through an exchange and going through the whole trading interface is too intimidating for them. So we just want to offer a very simple on-ramp that they can just buy some initial Ethereum and start using DeFi apps.
Yeah, super cool project. I mean, is there like a max that you're like allowing just from the regulatory side or from the app side?
Yeah, sure, definitely. So we have given that a thought, and we'll definitely have some kind of initial since we're targeting like new users and not people who are like traders or something. So we'll just have very low limits, just to make sure that we don't get into any regulatory issues. And yeah, that should serve the purpose of letting new users just buy their initial crypto and start using DeFi apps.
Cool. So have you had any friends use it yet? Or is this,
No,
are you
so
gonna
yeah,
get somebody to?
No, since it's like we don't have, we actually haven't deployed it on the mainnet, and as like we haven't even, we're using a sandbox environment for the API. So yeah, we definitely have plans to launch it on mainnet. But yeah, hopefully we'll do that in a few weeks or something like that.
I think you're muted, Evan.
He's not muted, but we can't hear him. Evan, if you want to type your question into the chat, we can just read it out, Shailene.
I was just saying, what are the
There we go.
blockers for deploying to mainnet?
So yeah, since it's since we're having escrow contracts, and basically we need to just make sure we get the initial audits or something like that done, and make sure there's no huge bugs in the contract. And yeah.
I mean, it's basically completely centralized because you guys would rightfully own the API keys, right?
Yeah, so we're actually using Chainlink oracles, and we have a Chainlink node running that is connected to these APIs through an external adapter. So that part is centralized, so it's an oracle, so there's some kind of centralization over there, but everything else is running through the contracts, and the contracts called the Chainlink oracle contract to initiate that payment and get back the status whether the transaction has gone through or not. So we get that back through the oracle as well to the contracts.
Okay, so you wouldn't want to centralize it on your part. It would be like, as long as you're okay with the Chainlink centralization piece of the APIs, then it should be trustless, right?
Yeah, we're trying to bring we're trying to bring as much functionality we can on chain, and not have everything off chain besides just the escrow. So we also plan to kind of have the auto matching on chain, so that in the demo we had to specify the escrow address, but eventually we plan to have automatic matching between the users.
Super cool. Yeah, great job.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Unipeer. We're just going to take a 6-minute break here. We've got a few projects left after Unipeer. Next up after the break will be Syndicate. We just want to give the judges a chance to refill their coffee. So hold on, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, folks, we'll be getting started just back in a few minutes here as the judges file back in. Next up is going to be Syndicate. So just you're ready to go. Okay, all the judges are back. Great. Liam, if you want to get Syndicate onto the call, they can show us their demo.
Hi, this is my demo for Syndicate. So what is Syndicate? Syndicate is a platform for Web3 communities. What is it right now? It's basically a Web3 Discord. So let's just jump straight into the demo here. So to access Syndicate, simply go to this URL you see here. So here we go. And you'll be prompted to unlock your wallet, which is your identity for entering this website. So simply unlock your MetaMask wallet to access. So as soon as you join, this should look very familiar if you ever used apps such as Discord or Slack, which I assume all of you have. This essentially is a Web3 version of that. And here you see that the members of this web app, their identities are their Web3 wallet identities. And just like Discord, you can create channels, send messages, and send DMs to members. So direct messaging. What makes this unique compared to Discord or Telegram is that it can bring Web3 features that are not possible natively in traditional Web2 chat apps. For example, I can make a permission chat that only allows people that meet certain requirements to enter. Here I have a comp governance channel, or server rather, where the users must hold at least 0.5 comps to enter. So when I try to join, it will not allow me because currently I do not meet such requirement. However, if I were to switch to a wallet that meet the requirements, it will. So let me just quickly switch my wallet here. There we go. And then verify my signature, sign here. This wallet, I do own 0.5 comp tokens, so it will allow me to access. So I can click join, and there I'm in. Hi, let's do governance. Very cool. And you can see the notifications in here as well. And that's kind of a very basic demo of my app. Feel free to try it out. So how is this built? This is built on Firebase, MongoDB, and React. And for Web3, I simply use web3.js. And what's next? So the opportunity here is that almost all crypto communities live on chats that uses Web 2 as a platform. And since all the communities live on Web 3, it's kind of a bit surprising that we still use Web 2 chats to host these communities. And there's just a lot of exciting possibilities down the road. Snapshot is very cool. I hope to implement kind of pseudo lightweight governance features down the line for this project. There's just a lot of cool possibilities. And currently I'm looking for just feedback on my work so far and looking for people to work with. So if you are curious or interested, send me a DM at ETHGlobal on Twitter. Thank you.
This is cool. I mean, obviously, like you said, it's decentralized. It's like sort of, yeah. I mean, it's centralized. It's just using, you know, your Web3 keys, your ETH keys. But like you can build a lot on that. There have been like some attempts to do this here and there. Are you familiar with any of those, or you just wanted to do this? And it looks good, by the way. It looks great.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I think I'm aware of a few projects like this as well. I think Status used to be the popular one, but I definitely started just like not really, I haven't really dug too deep into the alternatives. I kind of just wanted to build something, and I'm aware of.
So you had this like in mind because you felt like, why doesn't this exist? I just have to build this kind of thing.
Totally.
Cool.
Yeah, I really love this. This is quite good. Like I love what the Web3 capabilities bring you. For example, the ability to have some sort of a balance before entering into a room. I'm personally against that like balances, but I'm for the functionality that it brings. Let's say you have a certain NFT, then you can belong into a club or some like a discussion board, and it's kind of like you can create permissions, permission discussions, and so forth. So I think as an idea, this is pretty cool. This could be actually something that like the Aave community could definitely use. I see a lot of value at it. My question is, where's the data stored now? Can you run your own server? How does it work?
Yeah, totally. So currently, almost everything is centralized besides the fact that wallets are Ethereum identities, which is decentralized. But in terms of like messaging and servers, I think it's just for the ease of implementation. Currently, they're all like I own the database, and
got it.
Yeah.
I was thinking. Sorry, just quickly that if you have now kind of like the anonymities behind of the addresses, there's situations where maybe you want to express like who you are, and there's questions like, well, that data be stored there forever? Can you remove it? And now it's in centralized database, but maybe you could think a bit about what could be like a long-term solution. Should those groups be some sort of like signal type of like encryption between the group members that when they join, some sort of like a solution that is less centralized? That could be pretty interesting. And I think the value added on Discord is exactly the having own server, so that could be like big feature. But I think you could go even further and thinking like how you could use cryptography to make all of whatever exists now, like Signal and Discord, a bit better. This could be a very interesting project and to see like to evolve. Really happy.
Yeah, no, great job though. It's first off super pretty. Just a really well designed front end compared to most projects. So good job on that. I think one of the things you should kind of think about that we've run into whenever you're talking about using this is say like a governance platform, whether it's any of them, like a lot of the people who are some of the most active members, say in like the chat rooms, for whatever reason, they still hold all of their coins on Binance or on one of these centralized exchanges, which has no access to any of these wallets. And, it's still like great to have them as part of the discussion though, because they are active parts of the community. And even if they can't vote on things, it's cool that they're part of it. So have you thought about how it might work or just trying to force people off of centralized exchanges?
For that part, you don't have to make permission chats. You can also just make regular chats. And I think for the future, like you can maybe make a server where certain channels are permissioned and some are not, to just be inclusive of everyone in that community. Yeah.
Cool.
How much would it cost? Like, I mean, you said you're in Mongo, but like if I spin up my server or whatever, as Discord calls them, I mean, how fast does this like spiral out of control for you and you have to worry about?
Yeah, totally. So I'm actually on like the cheapest tier of Firebase right now, but I imagine as if it actually has usage, I would just have to be like spent based on the API amount, like API calls. So I imagine, so I haven't really thought about scaling it, but I think it could get expensive if there's like a lot of users. I think that's something I will have to worry about.
I mean, I might be wrong, but I think if you like literally put this out there, you would have a lot of people like ETH projects that would use it quickly.
Yeah, certainly.
It would get expensive.
Yeah, I definitely would be happy to just like let that happen. And then worry about it afterwards.
Yeah, you know, it's probably not that much money that you couldn't get it covered by like Gitcoin grants or whatever. Like if, yeah, right. Cool, neat.
Well, thanks so much, Bill. I think that's all the time we got for Q&A. Great project.
Thank you.
Okay, so next up, we just got 2 teams left today. And next up is Whirlpool. So let's get Whirlpool on the call, and please take it away with your demo.
Hey, sorry, one of our teammates Zoom crashed, so give
Got
us 1 second. Sorry.
No problem.
But we are here.
Hey, Nicole. Great.
Hey.
Pretty much standard for Zoom. It only it only works when you don't need it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Whenever you're ready, please go ahead. I won't start the timer or anything until you're able to start.
Forest's background is kind of one of those like, is it Zoom or not backgrounds? Like, I can't tell if it's virtual or not.
I think I see a clipping. Suggests it is. Yeah. Mine is completely real, by the way. This is a custom room I had built up.
I think it's gonna crash again because like the box, like, I don't know if you guys can see this. The box has like no, you can't hover over the box.
Yeah, would your other team member maybe be able to dial
Do
in?
you want me to play the video? Unless one of you guys have the video downloaded. Oh, maybe it works.
I think he's back.
Oh yeah, I'm back. Sorry, my Zoom crashed on me. I guess I'll present, Nate, or do you want to present? Either way is fine with me.
Yeah, take it away.
Okay.
As society drifts away from fiat currencies, we're left facing a global privacy crisis. Will corporations stop using stolen data to exploit our every behavior? Can we rely on the government from the pockets of lobbyists to provide regulations? And do we accept this future of surveillance capitalism? Our team says, hell fucking no. That's why we've created a way for customers to make anonymous purchases using a unique burner wallet generated every month. Among users, some people really care about their privacy, and other people just don't give a shit about that. But boy, do they love winning money. So why not have a system that attracts both these groups by gamifying anonymous purchases? Our two-pronged system combines the privacy of Tornado Cash and the incentive structure of Pool Together to bring you Whirlpool. Whirlpool. How does Whirlpool work? The user sets an amount of DAI to preload onto their burner wallet. At the start of each month, users deposit DAI into a mixer, and the DAI is stored as a DAI or Aave DAI. This allows interest to be generated towards the prize pool, which you'll hear about more shortly. The users themselves are then pooled. This pooled mixing event anonymizes all the funds and distributes them appropriately into anonymized burner wallets. Additionally, every time funds are deposited, users stand to win a reward as part of the mixing lottery. This no-loss lottery system incentivizes greater user participation because the larger the pool for mixing, the more robust the anonymization. At the end of the mixing, one or more lucky participants are randomly selected to win the interest from all deposits as a reward. And each of the participants receives a unique burner wallet for on-demand spending in DAI. Whirlpool makes participation in pooled anonymization fun, because if banks can offer spending incentives, so can the decentralized future. Whirlpool improves customer privacy, because we think companies who secretly mine user data and circumvent customer privacy laws should go fly a kite. Whirlpool. Tornado Cash and pool together for the best of both worlds.
You definitely win best video so far. That's without a doubt.
Thank you.
Can you like walk me through the architecture exactly? Like, is the idea that it goes on mainnet and it's like it's a mashup of Tornado and pool together, and then like how is if I put money into the contract, do I get my burner wallets back? Like,
Nate, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so the idea mainly is that, yes, this would ideally be on mainnet. But yeah, so as far as like technically besides the burner wallet and the video, it's basically, yeah, taking Tornado Cash and pool together and kind of mixing them up so that you have the mixing capabilities of Tornado Cash, being able to send transactions and then withdraw that transaction later from an unconnected address, but also the pool together lottery-based system in order to incentivize, since obviously the more people you have using the Tornado Cash pool, the greater the anonymity set. So the lottery part is, yeah, that would be with the funds that are pooled in Tornado Cash, just from people, trying to mix their funds. You also have a chance to win a pool together style lottery. And the burner wallet part would be you would withdraw this to your burner wallet just for extra privacy if you wanted. But yeah, the idea would be pretty much just like on Tornado Cash with a similar sort of user flow, but along with the capabilities to, everything pooled together can do: start award, complete award, award the prizes to winners, all that good stuff.
Yeah. I got it. So the burner wallet is just a reference to, you assume that I am doing that into the burner wallet. It's just the normal withdrawal process.
Yeah, we would like to build this into, if we were pushing this to production, making this like a production app, we would like to build that into the site so that it's just automatically handled for you, so that you don't have to handle like setting up another address where that kind of generates it for you.
Got it. And so if putting into production does mean that you have to like make some hard decisions about, what, liquidity, you need to get the liquidity. So the idea is that it would be like 1 ETH per month or something, or any thoughts there? Like Tornado has like whatever they have now, like 24 options or whatever, like between assets and pool and deposit sizes. Mm-hmm. So I assume you'd probably have to concentrate on a few.
Yeah, we would have to do something similar, since we want the deposits to be the same. So we'd probably like set up a pool for like 100 DAI or 1,000 DAI. But yeah, there is issues where like if someone's trying to mix a lot of things, Tornado Cash, it's nice because you can just create new pools and you have that liquidity to go through. This does kind of segment it to it. I guess you could look into the possibility of setting up different deposit sizes and then merging all the different deposit pools, the different Tornado Caches that you have, not mixing those all together, but merging that interest stream. One of the reasons why we looked at using Aave is because they have capabilities for like redirecting that interest stream. So we actually used that at one point in our architecture. I think there could be some things you could do with that in order to keep the different deposit sizes while still not sacrificing too much of segmenting all of that.
Right, and in pool together, you can kind of generate multiple tickets based on your single deposit, right? So you can scale that your reward back based on your deposit sizes. So you can basically pool all the rewards together across multiple Tornado Cash contracts.
That's yeah. I think this was pretty cool. Like all of the hacks related to privacy. I mean, we just need them more. This is exactly what the Ethereum community needs. Regarding with the A tokens, I think that was a smart decision to do. Not just because I'm looking for Aave, but also like I'm always wondering about the liquidity thing on the Tornado Cash system, because like in one way you could even practically use something like credit delegation and pull liquidity without a collateral from Aave and use it somehow in this system in Tornado with the possibility of actually not having credit risk in that sense. So you could provide huge amounts of liquidity for trading this privacy, and there's no issue with collaterals because it's a kind of like closed loop systems from inside of smart contracts. And this is probably something that will become in the future more easier with the credit delegation, because now you need to create an external vault for that and let people to put a DAI or let any A token. But in the future, it's kind of like borrow behalf function that you could use. But I think what you guys did, mixing like creating the ability to shop privately, like the idea behind it and the objective is fantastic. It's just pretty nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job, guys. Any way to cut down on gas? I know that's like my big gripe with all these things.
ETH 2.0 question mark.
Okay.
Yeah, we that would be something we would have to think of, using gas token, just kind of what people are doing to cut down on gas. But yeah, it is kind of an open question, since it would be because you're merging two already complex protocols into three, if you can call it Aave, into one protocol. So yeah, gas costs would definitely be something we'd have to think about how to manage that.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you so much, Whirlpool. Great project. Thanks for the presentation. That song's going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the day. Okay, moving on to our last project of the day. We've got Eth Em All. So we'll get them on the call, and I'll let you take it away and show us your demo.
Sure. Hi everyone, my name is Nemo. I'm in front of Eth Em All team. We are a team of 5 people from France and Serbia, a mix of blockchain engineers, Web2 technology developers, and designers. The main idea for us behind this hackathon was looking at the DeFi space and how fast it grew in the last couple of years. We saw a need that there is like a lack of education and understanding what you can do with the different platforms and protocols. And not just the education is a problem, but also making the experience fun and exciting. So we decided to make a platform that is helping people to learn how to use the different protocols by unlocking different achievements and badges through the experience of using these projects. And these badges and achievements are represented by non-transferable NFTs and NFTs. So for the sake of the hackathon, we used 3 projects as examples: Aave, Compound, and Uniswap. And for each project, user can do a particular set of tasks which represents achievements. In the case of Aave Compound, here we used deposit, borrow, depositing more than 3 or 6 tokens, and also if a user get liquidated. For the Uniswap example, we used if the user is liquidity provider for less than 1% of the liquidity pool, between 1 and 10%, and 10% and more. So let's see how it looks like when a user is minting a token. So once the user connects the wallet to the project, they can mint particular badge for the different projects. So here we are minting Aave deposit badge. Same goes for Chad badge for the Uniswap that represents more than 10% of the liquidity providing for a pool, and also depositing 3 or more tokens for the Compound pool. All of these representations are now stored on the blockchain, and these are non-transferable NFTs that are tied to the user wallet. So for the next steps, what we plan to do is add a quest-like experience for user in order to get education on much higher level. We believe that by adding the quest-like experience, users will have a flow and better learning for the different platforms and the projects. Also, when I'm mentioning projects, what is on the roadmap is adding a lot of other projects. As we all know, these are just 3 examples, and there is much more DeFi projects that are really interesting and needs a better education for the users. Of course, everybody are asking about the fees. We are also thinking for the future, what are the options to use different L2 solutions to fix those issues. And also what is interesting for us to explore is potentially a partnership with all of these projects and protocols where a set of these badges would represent a kind of like verification or let's call it social token that is giving people access or particular privileges if they achieved something. And but in our opinion, that's only possible in being interested if we manage to partner up with the different protocols. Thank you for your time, and thank you for the opportunity to present in front of you.
So maybe I missed it. Is there an education piece? Like, is there like tutorials in there, or is that like something you haven't built? Or
yeah, we didn't build it. So basically the idea for us was like, just because of the sake of time and everything, we focused on just giving an example how it would look like. But that's next step on the roadmap, which is kind of, as I said, like quest-like experience. Like if you're just starting to, you go to the, I don't know, Aave page, and basically there like explanation and roadmap, how you can actually do some achievements and unlock different badges for it. And in the example, there are like non-transferable NFTs. We didn't do with NFTs. Basically, had a huge discussion to do that later. It's kind of like what should be a representation of NFT that is like transferable and people can sell. Should we mint for everything, or we should kind of like build a rarity between like different things that person does on the project?
yeah, so I guess that's like my question is, do you think of this in the end as more of an educational thing or more of a like a badge tracking? I guess like my question in particular is because I feel like people have sort of done like badge tracking, whereas like the educational piece is probably harder, and probably that's why less people have done it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Like 2 years ago, I started with kudos on the Gitcoin and like just learning through that process. And that was one of the interesting facts that I believe people are not spending enough time, which is more the educational side. But I think it's really open to like a huge discussion, as I said, like with verifications and what you can actually do if you have a wallet that you have some kind of like a verification of like what person did with a certain protocol, which is giving like we saw in Syndicate, and we were discussing here that like they have like if you're on compound server, you can join only if you have like the certain asset inside of your wallet. And here, like I believe that these things can be used by different projects through, I don't know, API or something that can build on top of these things. So I would say education and open mind for verification and God knows what.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking it would be cool for like hiring purposes. You could like, you know, like have you actually done like played around with DeFi apps in real life, and it could be cool. But yeah, I mean, and it looks cool. So great job, guys.
Thank you.
It's fun.
And I think like education is really, really important in especially in like in DeFi. Otherwise, the value will be never understood. So this is very, very cool thing. And I think if you look at one of projects in the Aave ecosystem, Aave, it's kind of doing this like an NFT DeFi thing. So they're trying to educate actually people to save kind of like funds, and the more you save, you kind of unlock your NFTs. And I can definitely see that there's like a lot of value in this, and it's not just like in DeFi, but in other kinds of like on-chain functionality.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. And I think you definitely should go after those kind of like partnerships. You know, I think DeFi protocols are very interested in education. There is, you know, like things like Coinbase Earn is doing now in trying to educate wider mass. but I think what you guys are trying to achieve is more valuable.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Okay, well, thank you, Eth Em All. I think with that, we'll wrap the Q&A and wrap this session of judging. So appreciate it, great project. Thank you to all the projects that presented for us today. Thank you to our judges who took time out of their Saturday to come and give feedback and look at all your awesome projects. So cheers, everybody. That is it. Of course, tune in next Friday for the finale, and I'm sure we'll be in touch with all the hackers in the Discord as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks,
everyone.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.